Hi everyone, my name is Rose, and this is gonna be a reading update. It's gonna be about books, because I completed my first 10 books of the year. So my goal this year is to read 40 books, although I'm kind of in a book slump. Reading slump, that's what it's called. I was like, book slump, reading slump. I don't want to read right now. And it's been going on for a little while. Are you moving, Hosh? My cat wants to step on all the books. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the 10 books. So, first book I read this year is The Golden Goblet by Eloise, Jarvis, McGraw. And this is like set in ancient Egypt. And this was just a really fun read. Like, the first 3 books I read this year were really, like, kind of simple, fun reads. I don't think I read only one book so far has kind of been a little challenging of the first 10. But, yeah, I've just been into kind of easy reads. And so, like, this is set in ancient Egypt. It's set, this guy, he wants to work with gold. He wants to, craft gold? I don't know what it's called. He wants to, like, make things with gold. And he's, like, his father died. And his father was, like, a gold worker thing, mabobber. I don't know. I don't remember what they're called. But, so, yeah. And then his father died. And he had to go live with his half-brother, who's, like, a real bad person. And who makes fun of him and beats him up, and he's a real bad person. And then he's like, I don't know how I can get out of this life, because he's like, I think 12, maybe 10 to 12, somewhere in that age. But yeah, it has a good ending, and yeah, if you like Egypt and history, I think this would be a good, simple read for you. So yeah. Next, okay, the next 2 books, I'm not sure if they're in the right order. I think they are. I didn't want to, like, turn on my computer to just to check Goodreads to see if 2 books are in order. It's either, like, this one is either the second or third book I read this year. But I think it's the second, but these 2 might have been switched around. So, just letting you know, I'll probably have everything in order in the description box. I have all the titles, all the authors, that's what they're called. I'm having trouble with words today. And all the dates that I finished each one, I will have in this description box. And I will also probably have my Goodreads account in there if you want to, like, follow it. But yeah. Next, so this is either the second or the third book. I'm not sure 100% sure, but yeah. This was The Book of Time by, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name right, but Guillaume Prévost. I probably did not pronounce that name right. But this is a very simple book. I think it's like a kid's book, maybe. I don't know. But it's basically this guy. He finds out that he can travel through time with this special stone, and that his father is kind of lost in time, and he's trying to... Well, first he discovers he can travel through time, and then now he has to try to figure out how to save his father. This is a trilogy, I think. I only have this book. I think this was a Christmas present from my mom. My mom just gets me like random books. But I enjoyed it, and it was only I think it was only like 250. It was like 210 pages, maybe. Yeah. 213 pages. Very short. Like, anything under 300, I kind of consider short. Like, 300 and under are kind of short. And then anything like 450 and up, I kind of consider longer, bigger books. So, yeah. So, I like time traveling. I like anything to do with, like, going and, like, trying to figure things out and, like, stuff. Like that. If it has, like, sci-fi, is that the right word? Anything that has, like, fantasy aspects, I usually like. Like, yeah. I forget what age the main guy is. Is he, what they call protagonist? Is that the main person? I don't know, but I think he's a little younger than the main guy in this one. I think he's like maybe 9, maybe 10, I don't know. Next book is, yeah, I told you the title of that one, is Magic, Menace, and Mischief by Kelly I don't know. These letters are like messing with my brain, and I'm like, I can't even fathom to. It's like the time I tried to learn Irish, I was like, screw this, I'm going back to Italian. At least that one I could understand. But yeah, so this is another book. This is like a Scholastic Fair book, I think. I don't know if they still have those anymore. I haven't been in school in like 10 years, so yeah. But this does have a second book, so I think I want to like get it. But basically this guy kind of wakes up and discovers he kind of has superpowers. He has powers of fire, and like he summons this fire hair that's very sarcastic and snidey, and I really like the fire hair. And he kind of shows him how to use magic, like, goodly and stuff. That's not a word. He has to, like, do a big fight with his, like, stepfather and stuff, and save his mom. Although his mom is, like, kind of crazy. The fire, like, burned her brain, and she's kind of, like, loopy. But, so he's trying to protect his mother. But, like, yeah. So, it's a good book. I didn't explain this one very well, but I don't explain books well. If you've been on this channel and watching my book videos, I don't explain anything. I don't explain. Okay, next books on a series. These were super easy, quick reads. And, like, these are the kind of books that I could just read, like, 50 pages without even trying. And I loved it for that. But this is, I'll hold up the first one. I read the first one. I think I read I read the second one. And I think I might have read the first one previously. I read the second one in, like, 6th grade. I've had that book forever. And so, yeah, this is, like, a Christian teenage girl diary kind of thing. Is by Melody Clarkson, and this is Diary of Teenage Girl Becoming Me. There's technically 16 of these books, but there's groupings of different girls. So, like, these are all Caitlin's books. So the next book in the series would be a different girl and have a different story. So, yeah, I have all 5 of Caitlin's books. I like Caitlin. She reminds me of myself a lot and stuff. In some ways and in some ways not. She reminds me a lot of my younger self, too. But, yeah, so the first book starts when she's, like, 16. And then the last book is, like, a time skip book. But I like the last book. I'm glad that I finally, like, got these, because I think I finally got the last 2 recently, like maybe a year and a half ago, and so I finally read all these through and stuff. So yeah, so it's Becoming Me, It's My Life, Who I Am, On My Own, and I Do. And I read the second book first. I read that in 6th grade, summer after 6th grade. So, like, 2006. So, like, a long time ago. And this book, I really liked it at the time. I mean, they were, like, good, interesting reads. But it's like, I would reread them, but they're not, like, they don't have a lot of depth or anything. Like, they're not, like, super fancy. Oh, she stopped playing with that. So if you want something like quick and not, it's like basically her struggles, try to be abstinent, and like her finding God in the first book and stuff like that, because this is like a Christian teenage girl. And the second book is probably my favorite book. I'll probably reread this one the most. And she goes on a missions trip. And like I would love to go on a missions trip one day. It doesn't even have to be out of the country. Even if I just went somewhere in the country, like in the country that I live, which is the United States of America, I could go on a missions trip like here somewhere. Because I think that's possible. I don't know. I may be aging out of like missions trips soon. I don't know. I think they have like age limits or something. Like, I think the youth group does it, which I think is like, if you're over like 30, 35, you might not be able to go on missions trips, which would really suck. But, yeah. So, yeah. If you don't mind religion, you have to at least not mind it. If you don't mind it versus up to like, you like it, I think you would like these books. And if you like are a teenager, I don't think anyone, I think people who watch me are more like my age or up. But yeah, these are the books I read and I liked them. They're easy plots, you can kind of see right through them, you can see where the story goes, but it's like still nice and reading. And I like that this is like diary style. I think the next other girls are not diary style. I think this is the only one that actually is like diary style. And I think that also helped me read faster. So, yeah. Only 2 more books, yay! And then I'm done. Make some shrimp tacos with some rice, because I am hungry. Next I read The Secret of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, which I had never read this. I know this is a lot of, in a lot of school, like, story things. My school didn't read, like, any of the school book things. Like, I read a lot of dystopian books in school, like we read, not the Hunger Games, right? What is that one called? The Maze Runner trilogy I read in high school, like with my English class. I read that one. I read I Am the Messenger. I read that in high school. That was a great book. I want to reread that. But yeah, so I think I got this within the last 6 months from Goodwill. I was like, this sounds like a good book. And then, like, I think a month ago or something, I don't know, sometime I was watching a bunch of this one YouTuber that I recently started watching, which was, what's his name? Buffalo Beauty Boy, him, and he had like this favorites, and he matches this book, and I'm like, I was trying to figure out what book to read next anyways. I'll read this one then. So, yeah, he kind of just was like, okay, this is one of my favorite books, and I'm like, I will read it then. Because I've been really enjoying his content. Like him and Queer Bones, I've been really enjoying their content a lot too. Those are the 2 channels I've been watching a lot of lately, but yeah. So back to books. So this is about a girl who runs away. And then she finds, like, family, and she finds out kind of who her mother was, and she got away from, like, a bad dad and stuff like that. And it talks a lot about bees and honey, because, like, the people who she runs away to is, like, beekeepers. That's what I was trying to say. My brain stopped, and I was like, where was I even going? Like, what? Yeah, so there's that book. I think I have a little bit of cold, so if my cough bothers you, I'm sorry. Like, my nose has been running today, and I have a little bit of cough, but if I get sick, like, it always goes straight to my lungs. I have asthma, and it's just, like, so, yeah. Last book I read was Ice On by Kirsten, Imani, Kasai. That's the... There's apparently a second book in this series, too. This is another book that I got for Christmas from my mom one year. And this was super interesting. It was very, like, I started my book reading block thing, like, in the last 50 pages of this, maybe. And then, so I had this. But then I had a trip that I was going on. I wanted to finish this before the trip. I knew that before I even started reading this. So, that kind of what kept me going with this book. But, oh, God. That definitely needs some water after this. So this girl, Sorika, she had babies. She had some twin babies. And someone stole them. And she needs to get them back. And she has a super... in this world, there's, like, morphs or something. What are they called? Mutants. Like, mutants? Like, some are more, like, worse than others. Like, some people have, like, feathers. Some people have, like, octopus legs. Like, hers is... she suddenly sometimes changes gender. Like, which is weird. They're called traitors in this book. And she has something, and whenever she changes, which she's a girl most of the time, so I'm gonna refer to her as a girl. And whenever she changes gender, she, like, completely doesn't remember anything when she was a girl. So it's kind of like she's waking up in this body, and the last thing she remembers was, like, back when she was years ago, and it's like, what even happened kind of thing. So, yeah, so it's kind of like, and and in the end, she kind of gets more connected with her male alter, and, like, and they kind of, because they're very different personality-wise, kind of, too, which is interesting. And, yeah, so, like, and, like, that whole thing about, like, changing genders, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, what if it was just, like, you could just switch and, like, pop into a different body? That would be weird, but interesting. And would you change genders if you could, like, be a different gender for, like, 24 hours? Would you? I think I would. I would be curious. But I know some people who would say, like, no, but yeah. So, yeah. And you meet a bunch of different cool, like, beasts and stuff, like this walrus manhunter that hunts his own, like, morphs or whatever to give to the collector, which the collector is bloody and awful. And this is very thick. This is the kind of book that, like, not page-wise, but it feels like you read, like, a paragraph, and it felt like it was, like, multiple paragraphs, kind of. It's very heavy with, like, knowledge and stuff, and the way it's worded, it's, like, heavy and dense. So, yeah. I enjoyed it, though, and I would pick up the second book and read it, so there's... I'm just gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching.